So this is a drip irrigation kit. What are all these pieces for and how do I use it? Well, we're about to get into that right now. So today we're going to talk about drip irrigation. So for anybody that's been curious about installing drip irrigation, I want to tell you that it's pretty easy. What I have here today is a Rainbird 50-piece gardener's drip kit, which is a nice setup. It gives you everything you need for a small space to start your drip irrigation. And you can buy all these pieces separately to go ahead and extend or do whatever you need to do to get to those other areas of the garden that you want to install on drip. Let me open this guy and show you exactly what it comes with. All right, so the first thing you notice coming out of the box is these two huge tubes. The first one we have here is a 1/2-inch irrigation tube, which carries the water to the location you want it to. This one here is a 1/2-inch emitter tube, which has emitters every 18 inches, and that'll let out about just under shy of a gallon per hour. Then what you have in this package here, you have a variety of things. All right, so the first thing I pulled out is the install tool. Now you don't want to lose this because this is very handy when you want to install your irrigation as far as your 1/4-inch tubing. This is the 1/4-inch tubing it comes with. This is the smaller tubing that you can run from the actual tubing to a bigger plant such as a shrub or a tree or whatever the case is, or containers as well. This is what's going to help you plug right into the irrigation tube to get those attachments in there really quickly. Here's another piece right here. This is a pressure regulator. What this does, it prevents any backflow water from getting to the faucet, and also no matter how much pressure your water faucet has, this is going to regulate the perfect amount of pressure for your drip irrigation tubing so it doesn't expand too much or it doesn't have enough water in the system. Now if your faucet is low on pressure, there's really nothing you can do about that. All this does is regulate how much actual pressure is going to your irrigation tube. So you're going to put these together, and I'll show you once we go out to the front and put this stuff together how that actually works. Then you have a number of different elbows, T's that you can connect and run off to different locations. And it comes with a couple of emitters here. Now these are 1-gallon emitters. You can buy these in 2 gallons all the way up to 5 gallons as well. Then you have some plugs for your 1/4-inch tubing that you're not going to be using. You have the end cap here. Towards the end you want to fold your tube, and this will cap it off, basically preventing any more water from going through that tube. Some more of the stuff you have here are some spikes that's going to keep your tubing elevated and provide the drip to whatever, either a container or a tree or a shrub or whatever the case is. Then you get a couple of landscape spikes as well. I'll link everything at the bottom below just to show you how many pieces of each come with it, and that way you know what to expect when you buy a product like this. I also have an expansion kit that I'll show you right now and show you what all that comes with as well. All right, so Angie posted a photo of this the other day, and it was a bucket. A lot of people had questions as far as where we actually got this bucket from. It's not a bucket I actually found to use in the garden. It actually is an expansion kit from Rainbird, which lets you expand to your drip irrigation. And it comes with a cool little tray here that I guess a lot of people had questions about that, but this tray holds your emitters, more stakes, comes with an extra install tool as well. Has another piece for your regulator just in case you lose it, along with the screen as well that goes in there. And then it comes with about 100 feet of 1/4-inch tubing, enough to get around the garden and connect all your containers if you choose to do so. But it's a pretty cool little expansion kit. I'll link the information down below. I know they have been sold on Amazon for quite a bit. It's where I got it, but I'll link that link down below if you're interested in looking at it. Don't know when it'll be back in stock, but you can go ahead and take a look at there, keep an eye on it, and you might be able to pick these up at some of the big box stores as well. So the first thing I'm doing right here is installing the Backflow attachment, and I'll show you guys separately on that. We get started here, that way we can run our initial piece to where we want to go. Get that on there a little nice and tight. Then we have our pressure regulator and our hose adapter here. Turn that on real quick and make sure it works. It's good. Now we're going to get our hose to start our initial run here. I'm going to take this off to show you guys a little bit closer how this attaches. So basically you just get the hose, put it into the adapter here, and then this part just turns to squeeze it down and keep it nice and secure to the adapter. And that's it for the initial piece. Now, there's all kinds of ways you can hide your irrigation tubing. One would be to go behind any panels. You can even dig under concrete surfaces to run it all the way across. In this case, because we can't do much work to these homes, we're just going to run right across the doormat here and try to conceal it the best we can. It's not the prettiest of things, but that's what we got to do here. Again, in your own home, you can dig into the ground, you can run it behind some paneling, hide it any which way you can so no one can see it. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install one little drip tubing real quick, only because we have this rose here that we want to get on drip right away. That way we don't have to come out here and water all day and do that on a normal basis. We can just enjoy the garden doing the drip. All right, so now with our irrigation tool, what we're going to do is we're just going to grab this end right here, put this little barb right here, right in there like that. That's going to help us force this barb right into the irrigation hose right here. Now what I found is you don't want to push too hard into these because then you'll cut right through the other side of the tubing. You just want to push hard enough to get it through that first layer of the tubing there. Once that's in there, you can move it around with your fingers there, get it in there the way you need to. Now we're going to get our 1/4 inch tubing, insert that right into this side of the barb here. Now I'm going to lay that back on the ground there, right where I want it. I'm going to grab my tubing to the right height that I need, just about right here to my rows. Give it enough wiggle room. I'm going to use some simple pruners just to cut the tubing right there. Now once we have that tubing cut, I've got our 1 gallon emitter here. This goes right inside with the barb there. Then we get our stake and just put it right at the base of the rose to where the dripping goes right to the root ball of the rose. And there you have it for the first install there. All right, so this is a pretty shaded area, but the next thing I'm going to do is I don't need any more of this black tubing on this side of the yard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right there. And because of the front part here, I'm going to run emitter tubing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a straight adapter here. I'm just going to insert to this end and then insert it right into my black irrigation tube here. Now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and connect it to where your tube and your emitters are going to be facing towards where you want the water to go. That way you don't have to mess with it afterwards. And then just to keep this one in place so it doesn't move, I'm going to put a stake right here, right in the soil, just so it keeps it there in place. So the next thing I'm doing is just running all my tubing all along where I'm going to have my plants planted to make sure to get enough moisture into the soil here. And I'm using the stakes just to tack it down. I'll bury it just so it's not shown so much. And this will be easily done with this mulch here. So I already finished the irrigation up top there. Last thing I did was added some emitters, some 2 gallon per hour emitters for our limelight hydrangeas there because they get plenty of sun. Want to make sure they get plenty of water up there along with the irrigation going to the plants that we're going to plant up there. Last thing I'm doing is I'm running some 1/4 inch irrigation tubing all the way from the top there to the bottom. So these containers right here get plenty of water once we plant those in as well. Now they haven't been planted in yet, but we'll remove these, put in some new some plantings in this container here. And I already have the drip system already ready just to go here, and once we get these planted up, we'll have some irrigation to them already. All right guys, so that's gonna be it for the video. Just wanted to show you real quick how to do the irrigation. It's quick and easy, not hard at all, but the one thing it does, it saves on water, and it actually lets you enjoy the garden. You just turn your water faucet on, let these get watered, and you don't have to tend too much, as far as going around watering every single container you have, or every bed that you have. But it's very beneficial to be able to enjoy the garden. Another thing you can do is you can set a timer so it waters, at a time that you want to set it at. That's something maybe we'll do along the line. I know the faucet up here we have needs a little bit of work that we need to call maintenance for to get that done before I actually put a timer on there, because I don't want water just to be on and it just continues to pour water down the slope here. But Like I said, that's going to be it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Again, as always, you can follow all our updates on Instagram and Facebook and see what we're doing and progress along as we get this garden going. So that's going to do it, guys. We'll see you in the next one.